So Christopher Eccleston was the bad guy in Thor: The Dark World, and David Tennant is the bad guy in Jessica Jones. So now we got two Doctor Who's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know what that means. In Captain America: Civil War, Chris Evans plays Mr. Rogers, a popular children's television host and part-time better version of Superman. There, I said it. His bestest friend is the Winter Soldier, an adorable puppy / cinnamon roll hybrid that Tumblr worships on high for some reason. He gets framed for a crime despite the fact that he's already wanted for multiple crimes he did actually commit. Meanwhile, everyone keeps picking on Tony Stark. Pepper Potts left him, people keep calling him a murderer, and he creates a weird simulation of the last time he saw his parents. I don't know why. And instead of hugging their feelings out, they beat the crap out of each other.
Thoughts on the Winter Soldier and Age of Ultron.
So pretty much everybody loves Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and everybody pretty much thought Age of Ultron was meh. I'm kind of the opposite. I rewatched both of those movies before watching this one, and while I think that The Winter Soldier is a very well-made movie, it leans more on a very well-made spy kind of movie. Whereas Age of Ultron, written and directed by Joss Whedon, felt a bit more fun to me, and it felt a little bit more, well, schlocky. I understand some of the problems that people had with it, but I had a lot of fun with it, and for overall, it just seemed to have more of a rewatchability factor than the other one did. So, insert your "you're wrong and you're stupid and you hate everything" comments below. Captain America: Civil War is kind of a mash of those two movies though, and I think it works pretty well. The Russo brothers, who directed The Winter Soldier, have gotten a lot better with humor here, and they kind of have to because you have so many of the Avengers and so many more comedic type characters. And they managed to cram a lot into this movie, and while some people may think it a bit too crowded, I thought it struck a very good balance.
The part where I talk about the plot.
Now when you start breaking down the plot of this movie, there are definitely some plot holes, but I thought they did a good job of working around those with characters acting more emotional than necessarily logical. Some of the characters are acting very irrational, but you buy, I think, through their performances that those characters would make that decision. Steve Rogers gets clouded in his judgment because everyone's trying to kill his best friend. And then Tony Stark gets mad because, well, everybody just keeps picking on him. Why is everyone picking on Tony Stark? Someone give him a hug. I thought the film started off a little bit slow. I didn't really get into the first action set piece sequence. I thought it just felt like something I had seen before. And in the end, it didn't really matter because all that whole sequence is pretty much just set up for the rest of the movie. The villain of this movie, played by Daniel Bruhl, who I really like, I thought he was great in this movie, and I thought that the villain for this particular film turned out to be very interesting in the end. The problem is that you're basically led to believe that he is just another standard "I'm going to destroy the Avengers because reasons" type of villain, and then you find out at the end that really he just was trying to tear them against one another, and ultimately he pretty much succeeded, and you actually feel for this character by the end of the movie. The problem is that you don't find out any of that until the end, so for most of the movie it feels kind of flat and one-noted.
Obligatory thoughts about Spider-Man.
This is the best Spider-Man, I think, put to screen so far. At least it's my favorite iteration of the character so far. He's just a kid who's pretty much out of his depths, and he just thinks it's awesome hanging out with the Avengers. And thank God they didn't do his origin story again. I also really loved Ant-Man in this movie. Way more than I actually liked him in the Ant-Man movie, which was just, I thought, a mediocre movie, but here he really serves as like a comedic high point. And I liked him just as much as I like Spider-Man in this.
Thoughts on the best part of the movie.
Obviously, the middle section of this movie is the highlight. It's the thing that everyone's going to end up talking about when they walk out of this movie, and that's the section where basically the Avengers fight each other in an airport hangar. Not hangar, it's an airport runway. Either way, it's kind of a boring place to have a fight. But it's great fun because you only have a few characters who are there to kill someone. Everyone else is there just basically to stop someone else or be there because Tony Stark asked them to come. So even the ultimate fight of all the characters does not have this dark, depressing serious mood to it. There are like moments of awesome hilarity, and it's a lot of fun. But this is what keeps me coming back to the Marvel movies. I have very little interest in the dark, emotional saga stories of these characters' internal conflicts. At the end of the day, I just want to have fun, and these movies are a lot of fun. And it's not an inconsistent mess of a horrible, blunt, awful, depressing thing.
Unavoidable comparisons to Batman vs. Superman.
There is no comparison. This is a good movie. All Tony Stark had to say was, look, just sign this thing right now, and then when stuff goes down, we'll just do whatever we want. We're superheroes.